Welcome everyone to the 3D modeling class. So what is 3D modeling? Let's say we have a rectangle here. So as you can see, this rectangle is a 2D sketch. Then we convert this 2D sketch to 3D. So 3D modeling is basically converting your 2D sketch to 3D. So for this 3D modeling class, I will be using Solidworks 2018 as our 3D modeling platform. So you can download this software from online. Okay, now let's get started. So when you select the Solidworks 2018 icon, you will get a screen like this. So from here, what you have to do is go to Files and then you select New. So when you select New, you have three options: Part, Assembly, and Drawing. So what is part? A part is a small component of the whole design, and assembly is the whole design. So an assembly is combined of different parts, and this option drawing is when you complete your design and then you want to convert it into 2D drawing, you can do that here. So let's start with the parts first. So as you can see, this is our sketch screen. So I select sketch. So you can see that you have so many different options for starting with a sketch. So the first thing about a sketch is to select a plane. So what is a plane? You can see here you have right, front, and top plane. So oh, sorry. So you can see the different planes. This is a top plane, this is our front plane, and this is our right plane. So to describe the plane, I will sketch something and describe it to you. So let's select a plane, right plane. This is a rectangle. Again, we make it 3D. Okay. So now select the front plane. So front plane denotes the front face of this 3D model, and top plane denotes the top face of this 3D model, and right plane denotes the right face of this 3D model. So plane is the most important thing when you start a sketch. So either you have to choose front plane, top plane, right plane. So it depends where your part is going to be. If your part is going to be on the top, so you start sketching from the top plane. Let's say your part is going to be on the right side of your assembly, so you start sketching from the right plane. And if your part is going to be on the front side, you start sketching from the front plane. So after plane, the most important thing is scaling. So at the right side bottom, you can see it's written here MMGS. When you click it, you can see MKS, CGS, MMGS, IPS. So actually all of them are different kinds of units. MMGS is millimeter gram second system. So when you are starting the design, let's say you want to sketch something or you want to do your 3D modeling, you need to select your scaling. So for this tutorial, I'm going to use MMGS scale. So all of my designs are going to be measured in millimeter, gram, and second. So these are the two basic things that you need to remember every time you start sketching something in SolidWorks. Now let's start with a new sketch. We start the part. Okay, so the first thing we do is we need to denote our plane. So we choose right plane, and then there is one more thing, which is the view orientation. So this is the option you have to choose to make the view normal. This is called normal to, you choose it. Okay, then you look at your scaling. As I said before, I'm going to use MMGS. So MMGS is selected. So we start with the design. So what do we have here? We can see lines, circles, spline, corner rectangle, 3-point arc, ellipse, polygon, straight slot. So this is a 3-point arc. You can see. So this is a 3-point arc. So what is a 3-point arc means? Let's select the arc again. Okay. So you select one point here, and then you select another point here. So it's only 2 points, right? And then as the plus sign you see, you can move the arc according to the plus sign. This is a very important tool for 3D modeling designs. Later we will use it in different things. Okay. Now there is one more important thing. There is a polygon. Okay. So as I said before, we need to know the scalings. So how do you select the dimension for a sketch? Let's say you have this polygon here. How do you select the dimension? What's going to be the radius for this circle? What's going to be the length of this line here? So you go to smart dimension, select smart dimension. Now you will have a small spider like thing with your cursor. So you choose the 2 points where do you want to fix your dimension. So let's say I want to have the dimension here and here. I want to know that between these 2 points. You can see. So you can just write the dimension. I want them 60 millimeter. So I write 60 millimeter here. Okay. As you can see, it became 60 millimeter. Let's say I want to see the distance from here to this point. Okay. Now you can see make dimension driven. What does it mean? It means that this 51.96 depends on 60. So as you already said that the length of this line is going to be 60. So the radius of this circle should be 51.96 millimeter. So that's how you have to choose your dimension, and you have to, we call this dimensioning. So now we will look to other sketch tools. So at first, before starting any sketch, we create our center line. No, that's not right. The correct way to create center line is from here. Okay, we create another center line. Okay, so we're done. So now we will know what is trim entities. Let's suppose we draw a circle here. Okay, so we drew the circle already, but we don't want the full circle. We just want this portion to be vanished. So how can we do that? We can do that by using trim entities. So let's select trim entities. Okay, select power trim. Now wherever you want to trim, let's say I want to vanish this portion. I don't want this portion anymore, so I just trim it. Okay, Then as I said before, I want a half circle, so I can trim this portion. So the way to trim it is you just drag your mouse and then you can just delete it. So let's trim the whole thing. Okay, so that was our trim tool. Now we will look at the offset entities option. So what is it? Let's suppose we create another circle. So we want to create a circle, and then we want another circle out of the circle. So what we can do is we can select this circle and then we select offset entities. Now you can see SolidWorks has automatically created an offset portion for you. So what you can do is you can just select the diameter of it, not actually diameter, the distance from this circle to this circle. You can see the arrow moving. So just put the diameter, let's say we put 20 millimeter. Okay, so now you can see that when you offset it, the same kind of another circle is created. Let's try it for rectangle. Okay, offset entities. So you can see it cannot detect the entities. It's because it can't detect because of these diagonals of the rectangle. So at first we try to trim it. Okay, let's see now, can we just offset it or not? Yes, so it's very much possible to offset it. Okay, so that was our offset entities. Okay, now we choose the trim again and trim everything. Okay, because we want to see a new option. So now we have mirror entities. Okay, so we want to see what is a mirror. Okay, let's create an axis first. I'll tell you why am I creating an axis. Okay, suppose you want to design a line here and you draw so many things. But now you want to draw the exact same thing, this exact same thing, but now we want to draw this exact same thing with this distance, but in this axis. What we can do is we can go to mirror entities. Okay, then we can select the entities to mirror. Say we want this line to be mirrored, this line as well, this line as well. Select the other lines. Okay, now there's a thing, there is mirror about. So you have to choose between these two axes. So I want to mirror about as Y. axis x-axis, so I select x-axis. So now you see uh, design is created, and the distance from here and the distance from here to here, this origin to this point is same. The distance would be same for both of them. Okay, so this was our mirror option. So now we want to mirror the same thing but in this side. What are we gonna do is we select it again, we select mirror about, but now we choose y-axis. So this design is created, but this design is being mirrored about x-axis and then was mirrored about this y-axis. Okay, so that was our mirror tool. Now we will look at something new and very important that will be used most of the time, that is linear sketch pattern. Okay, so from the name we can know that it is about patterns. So what is pattern? Pattern is like same thing with the fixed amount of distance. So we'll have the same thing in a fixed amount of distance. So let's say we draw a rectangle and then we select a circle here. Okay, I don't want these lines, so I just trim them. Yeah, trim it out as well. Okay, so now we will look at linear sketch pattern. So what is this, the linear sketch pattern? So when you select the linear sketch pattern, you have to select the entity or the drawing that you want to be patterned. Okay, let's say I want this circle to be patterned. You can see that one more circle is created, but it's just only one. So from here I can determine the distance of my pattern, like how far, like from one circle to another circle will be. Let's suppose I want that to be 25. No, let's put a value of 90. Still the circle is not out from the circle that we draw, so let's go for 140. Yeah, so now we can determine how many we want. Let's say I want to have 10 circles. So you can see here, as I put the value 20, I have 20 circles in together. But if I just put 10, okay, now so this is a linear sketch pattern. So we select all of them and then we try to do it once again. Now we want to do it for y-axis. So let's close it. So now we do it for y-axis. Let's suppose we want the distance in y-axis at 30. We want 5 y-axis. Let's increase the distance a bit. We make it 100. Okay. So this was the example of linear sketch pattern. Okay, now we have one more thing that is known as circular sketch pattern. Okay, so what is it? Select the circle here, make a circle. Now let's go to linear sketch pattern and then we go to circular sketch pattern. Okay, we select the distance 90. You can see there, and then how many patterns we need. Let's say we need 8 of them. 8 of them, and then going to edit distance as well. Okay, so this is the example of linear sketch pattern and this is circular sketch pattern. So what is the good thing about linear sketch pattern? So when you want a pattern in a linear way, linear sketch pattern creates it for you a linear way, and circular sketch pattern creates the pattern in a circle. Okay, now there is one more thing I want to tell you. There is a fillet. So what is a fillet? So let's say you want a curve here. You don't want your rectangle to be this straight. You want to put a curve here. So let's select both of the lines. 1, 2. Okay. So you can see a curvy edge in your sketch. So you can also determine the radius of your curve. Let's put it 20 millimeter. Okay, it doesn't look good. Let's change it to 50. Let's see how it looks. Yeah, looks fine now. So you can create one more here as well. You just have to select the corresponding lines or rectangles. Okay, yeah, now as you can see there's a curvy edge in the rectangle, and the radius is also given of the curve, that is 50 millimeter. Okay, so this was this was the example of fillet. Now let's delete everything. Now we will look at the relations. Okay, So I draw a rectangle here and then I draw a circle here. Okay, let's zoom it. So let's suppose we want this circle to be coincidental with this point and this point of the circle to be coincidental with this point. How to do that? So just go to display relations, select it, and then go to add relation. Okay, select the arc, it's already selected, that's why it's light blue. Then select this point. Okay, select coincidence. Okay, so you can see this point is also becoming coincidental with this, and you can add some more relations as well. Let's suppose we draw a line here. Okay, so we want this point of the line to be same, to be in this rectangle, as you can see here. Okay, now just go to display or add relation, add relation. So you just go to display, select the line and display and add relation, add relation. The relation is already been added, that is vertical. So there was an example of display and add relation. This was the example of fillet. Now let's delete everything. Now we will look at the relations. Okay, so I draw a rectangle here and then I draw a circle here. Okay, let's zoom it. So let's suppose we want this circle to be coincidental with this point and this point of the circle to be coincidental with this point. How to do that? So just go to display relations, select it, and then go to add relation. Okay, select the arc, it's already selected, that's why it's light blue. Then select this point. Okay, select coincidence. Okay, so you can see this point is also becoming coincidental with this, and you can add some more relations as well. Let's suppose we draw a line here. Okay, so we want this point of the line to be same, to be in this rectangle, as you can see here. Okay, now just go to display or add relation, add relation. So you just go to display, select the line and display and add relation, add relation. the relation is already been added, that is vertical. So there was an example of this plan and relation. Now we will start a new sketch. So let's look at the sketch first. So as you can see in the sketch that there are some dimensions given, such as this line length is 12 millimeter, and then this one is 10 millimeter, and this circle here is 19.5 millimeter. So let's start with the design. So let's choose a plane. As it was not mentioned which plane should we use, so I'll choose right plane, make it normal, and then I will look at the unit system. So as you see, the unit system is millimeter. Okay, so the first thing when you start a sketch, at first you try to make your center lines. Okay, let's make the center lines first, because this will make your sketch easy. So let's look at the sketch again. So as you can see here, so we have to build a rectangle, and then another one here, and then there is a circle here. So let's build this portion first. Okay, so the length of this line is 12 millimeter and this line is 10 millimeter. Okay, and the distance from the origin to this point is 7.5 millimeter. Okay, let's choose line, sketch a line here. We will set the dimension later. Yes, so the first thing is from the center to this point the distance was 7.5 millimeter. Okay, and then from here to here is 10 millimeter. So we put 10 millimeter. Okay, then we do the dimensioning again. From here to here is 12 millimeter, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, it's 12 millimeter. Okay, now I will introduce you something new. There is mirror entities. So what is mirror entities? Mirror entities is like when you choose some lines of the sketch or any part of the sketch, it gets mirrored by this option of mirror entities, and it is a popular sketch tool. So let's see how it works. Let's select the lines first, what we want to mirror. Okay, so we want to mirror this line, we want to mirror this line as well, and this line. Okay, then we have an option called mirror above. So we have to choose an axis. Let's say we want to mirror about this. Deselect it. Okay, let's say we select the mirror about first. Let's say we want to mirror about this line. Okay, now you can see the preview. So what if we select mirror about this axis? So we will get a mirror in this axis. So as we want to have a mirror about the x-axis, so we choose the x-axis. Okay, let's click on the right. Okay, so it's done. If you can see the sketch, we have two rectangles here. One is here, another one is here. And then we also build is 2. Okay, now the crucial part. So as you can see that it's a half circle here, and the radius of the circle is given 7.5. So according to this, so let's construct a circle here. Okay, so after constructing the circle, we can see that in our sketch it's a half circle, it's not a full circle, but we constructed a full circle. So now what we are gonna do, we are going to trim the full circle into half circles. Okay, so this is the trim tool. You can select it and you can select the power trim, and you can delete the part that you don't need. I will show you again. So just select the trim tool, select the part that you don't need. Okay, so it's deleted. Okay, so now, so this portion is already drawn in our sketch. Now we focus on this portion. So what do we have? We have a line. The length of the line is 30 millimeter. Okay, so select the line tool. Solidworks is showing you the line is straight or not. Okay, so the length of this line is 30 millimeter. Okay, so we go to smart dimension and then choose these 2 points. The length is 30 millimeter. Okay, we make it 30 millimeter. Done. So in the sketch we can see that we have one line here and another line here as well. So what we can do, as we did previously, we can just mirror it. So you can find the mirror entities here. You select the mirror entities. Okay, and then entities to mirror. So we want to mirror this entity. Okay, so we select it, mirror about this axis, x-axis. Okay, so done. So far we are done till this. So then we have a circle here, and the diameter of the circle is 15 millimeter. Okay, so we go back and then we select circle tool. We create a circle. Okay, so the diameter of the circle was, let me check again, it's, the diameter is 15 millimeter. Okay, so now select the diameter to 15 millimeter. Okay, 15. Okay, so the only thing that is left in this sketch is there is one more half circle here, and the diameter of the half circle is 19.50. Okay, so we select circle, and the center of the circle is the same center with this circle, so we draw a circle first. Okay, so what was the diameter? The diameter of the circle was 19.50. So we go to the smart dimension tool, we select the dimension. So now there is two things you need to be looking at carefully. I'll zoom it. You can see this R. So by the R, SolidWorks is telling you it's the radius. And when you see this icon, the circle with a line in the center, it means diameter. So now we have to check that our dimension is in diameter, it's not in radius. So now we have to check what was the diameter, that the dimension that is given in our sketch, is it in diameter or radius. So we can see it says R, so it means it is radius. So the radius of this half circle is 19.50. So the diameter would be 19.50 into 2, that is 39 millimeter. So we write 39 millimeter here. Okay. Now in the sketch, it's not a full circle, it's a half circle. So we have to trim this portion. So to make it a half circle, we select trim entities. The power trim is already selected. Okay, and we delete this part and we trim this part as well. So as we finished our design, so now we have to save it. We go to File and select Save As. So you can see here there are a lot of options. So most of the SolidWorks file, they are saved as SLDPRT format, and then you can also save it as Adobe document format JPEG. So I'll just choose this part, SLDPRT format. Okay, and then save it.